Brian McKnight Jr.
That's how you run it down right there.
Dude, what? Sorry.
Can't complain about these experiences I'm fortunate to have. It made me sweat. Don't sue us for that.
Loser?
Somewhere terrible between a pimp and a hard place. And we should probably give them some better role models. It's again,
aside from
all necessary.
all of it.
It's all necessary.
Oh my God.
With
Tifani
Tifani Sage.
World, it's me, your host, Tifani Sage, spilling water over here. But welcome to another episode of It's All Necessary. In this space, we are reminded that every life experience that we go through, whether big or small, it's only to help us and to develop our growth for our next experience to come. So, it's all necessary.
Boom.
Boom. Please like, subscribe, leave your comments in the feedback section because I want to hear from you. All right, so let's get this episode started. I've been waiting for a while now, unbeknownst to you, Brian. I've been waiting a while for this episode, and I'm so excited to have my special guest, Brian McKnight Jr. It's when you like, do your runs.
Happy to be here. Happy to be here. This is amazing, honestly.
Thanks, B.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
It's all necessary.
It is, and I honestly feel like maybe I could like take our old studio clips and like incorporate it somehow.
That'd be amazing. Yeah.
I feel like this feels like a studio session in itself. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let's jump into this bad boy. All right, so let's start with childhood.
Yeah.
Right.
Might as well.
Off rip. What is your fondest childhood memory, and why does it still resonate with you to this date?
My fondest childhood memory.
Yeah.
Let me think. I have a few.
Oh, this is good.
Honestly, it would have to probably be riding dirt bikes with Nico, my little brother.
Oh.
We would have been, I don't know, I was 9.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was younger than that. I might have been 8. So I'm younger than my son is now, who's 9.
Yeah.
So Nico would have been 5. And this would have also been the last Christmas my whole family, mom, dad, me, my brother, spent together with our whole family at my family's estate in Lewisburg, North Carolina, which we don't have anymore. So I wish I could still ride bikes all the time. And that was right around the time that Nico and I, like, he was old enough. Obviously, we're riding dirt bikes, but like he was, we both still had that innocence still.
Yeah. Wait, and so when you say dirt bikes, because in my head, don't laugh, my version of a dirt bike was taking a was it clothespin with a playing card on the back of the
that? No, we definitely did that too. But you
were on like the real.
Oh yeah, my dad was extravagant with gifts because it's all he knew how to do. That was his love language, is what I'm choosing to state that's what that was. But that year, that's what he decided our gifts were going to be. My mom hated it, but we loved it. You know what I mean? And that whole summer, we just rode dirt bikes all summer
like in
because
the dirt and stuff, or like on the road and
my grandparents at that time in Lewisburg. Shout out to Lewisburg. We had this incredible estate that I will get back for the family, where on the property we had a lake, we had an acre and a half behind the house that was a road that was originally built for there to be a community that was never built. So it was all this land.
It's better for you guys.
So we had dirt bikes and four-wheelers, and at that time we spent our summers in North Carolina, so that's all we did that summer. I rode dirt bikes with my brother and played ball all summer in the country. So if I had to, that's just the first one, I guess, that stuck out in my head. That is something I'm actually fond of. The word fond is what makes it, I'm really fond of that memory. It makes me smile, it makes me laugh. Makes me remember, I wish I could get that back.
Me too. I mean, that's not my life, but I was like,
Right.
I want to ride with you.
Well, I want my kids to have that. That's where I'm at now. And through that, I'll get it back. And it'll be different. I think a lot of us as we grow, especially when we have kids, we forget that we're not kids anymore. You know, we can't keep wanting to have childlike experience to remember. You gotta remember, we're adults. There are plenty of adult memories to be had. And especially other than what society has told us adult memories are. Going out, hanging, making money, accolades and stuff like that. When I believe there's a way to find that childlike essence now as adult, and that's incorporating new skills into your life.
Yeah.
So that's what even dirt biking and that for me is a young age. My brother and I being able to knowing young black kids especially at that time, it's not something everyone could say that they were able to do on their family property, stuff like that. So those are also things. I mean, there's a lot in that memory, honestly, to unpack, because within that memory lies a lot of the foundation of who I am. Family, property, the value of all of our family being able to be together, the youngest generation to the oldest, all under one roof, even if it is for that holiday, but knowing that we have that property in our family, we can retreat to make those memories to be fond of.
Damn.
That's how you run it down right there.
I'm listening. When I was like, did he memorize all this? Like, did he write this down?
That was a phenomenal first question.
Wow.
Yeah.
What would you say? Sorry. What would you say, or how would your parents have described you as a child?
Wow. If I had to guess, my parents would have probably described me how I would describe my son. Incredibly mature at a young age, incredibly wise for a young age, but also curious almost to a fault because we're so mature.
And is it because you were exposed to more than the average while you were mature? Okay.
And I think, I'm careful when I say exposed to these days, because naturally people automatically associate that with something negative just because of exposed.
Yeah.
But it really is, conditioning. And your surroundings will, without a doubt, have an effect on your growth. So when you are in an accelerated household, and then you add a celebrity household at that, and not just celebrity, but you figure, when I was a child, my dad was at the peak of his stardom. And there was no way to hide that, you know what I mean? And all of that involved, again, my son now is experiencing that around the same time that I became aware of it. So he's exhibiting the same traits that I feel like I did. So I'm getting this is what my mom and my dad saw, because I'm smart, but because I'm so curious, I'm confused by a lot. And that confusion, as a child who's not given the tools that early to rationalize why he's feeling this way, you lash out. And, every kid is different. And for me and my son, it's, you naturally become a bully to a certain extent.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because you're more advanced than the kids that you're around, but you're not quite mature enough to be with the older kids.
Yeah.
So you're in that limbo stage of, you're not manipulating the kids that are around you, but naturally you're gonna control them. That's just life.
And kind of put them on game, or just something where it's just like, you don't know anything.
So, and then the natural, he's the class clown. So, we're funny. We have a lot of energy because, our body, we're in fight or flight mode from such an early age that our body begins to build up that whatever it is, because I don't want to speak like I know what that thing is I'm talking about, but you know what I'm talking about, whoever you are. That makes you need something, some kind of outlet, something to do. And thank God I had music, and I know my son is getting closer and closer to finding out what his thing is. So I look forward to still continuing to be able to learn and see myself through his eyes from what I would imagine my parents saw in me. So, it's trippy, man. It's trippy once you become a parent and then have to go through some of the same things that yourself or that your parents went through.
Because I was gonna say,
mad trippy.
With the confusion, when the child is confused because they realize my parent seems larger than life than the average parent is, it makes it harder because the parent themselves, if they don't understand all that's going on, how can they then explain to the child what this thing is.
Right. But that's something I've become incredibly thankful for, especially with my two oldest children. Because it's not so much that one of their parents was larger than life, but their mom and I have never really been in a relationship. You know what I mean? And we've always been great friends. We've always made sure to be cordial and everything for the kids, but we both knew that there was going to come a time where there was going to have to be a serious conversation to be had.
Yeah.
A necessary conversation, because I'm on the parenting side of I don't sugarcoat things with my kids. I don't lie to them in any way. I do not lie to my kids, and people can say what they want. A lot of people don't agree, but I'm just like, in this world that we live in where smartphones and the internet exist, to think that we can shield these kids from the real world is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I do my best to use all the knowledge that I have to guide, not push, but guide. Make sure they have the tools. My son especially, I talk to my son the way I wish my dad would have talked to me. If you have anything to ask daddy, any question in the world, I need you to know early. You can know daddy's never going to lie to you, and I will give you a straight answer about whatever it is, especially now that I know you're mature enough to handle some things that your friends may not handle. And I think it's being that clear with your children as early as you can be that, they'll have a different kind of respect for you as their parent outside of a fear of upsetting you, a fear of getting in trouble. I would love for by the time my kids are teenagers and beyond that they know no matter what they go through, daddy is here. No matter where daddy is, because daddy has a life too.
Yeah.
You call me, I'm there. And I attribute, again, all of that to have lived a very accelerated lifestyle and knowing exactly what it's like to wonder where my dad is.
Yeah.
And being able to see my dad. It's not like it's the 60s and the 70s where it's like, well, dad's just out at work, I guess.
Yeah.
But no, as I dealt with and still deal with my dad, it's like, I know where he is. I see him, and I know he's working. I know he's with his family, you know what I mean? Which is also, something I'm just now having to navigate through as well. But it's a learning experience, man. And as a human who's who's hell-bent on learning about what it's like to be a human, can't complain about these experiences I'm fortunate to have. So
what,
it's, again,
aside from...
all necessary.
All of it. Aside from Santa Claus and the tooth fairy or whatever, what is an example of something where you're not going to lie to your children about?
Where they've come from. And I mean the life and lineage of trauma and drama that is and the good stuff, obviously, of course. But I do think that your children should know what's up. I think a lot of parents try to hide who they are from their kids and then wonder why their kids don't know who they are. Because you're their example, and if they don't see an example of someone who was true to themselves, what do they do for their whole lives? They'll lie to themselves. Out of whatever it is, whatever their particular trauma, because trauma is per individual. And I'm going to say this out loud in a publication for the first time, because this is something I believe in my heart, but I think the world truly needs to develop a better sense of awareness of the fact that every single person here is having a per individual experience. And a lot of our teachings, especially when it comes to psychological things, family, health, all the things that really matter, our core things, have been spread out across so many people that we've lost that essence of empathy for everyone's individual story. A lot of generalizations get tossed into mental health that we forget that just because I have an experience that might be similar to yours, I truly still can't really put myself completely in your shoes as to make any type of assumptions. Any type of to put my own spin on anything that you've been through is completely disrespectful, I feel, to you and your journey. And that's even something else I try to instill in my kids, is to know that don't try to be like daddy. Don't try to be like mommy. In the sense of what I do, my career,
anything other than what I show you naturally that's in my essence as a man, even what I want my daughters to see, I need them to see a good man, a good husband, eventually a good father, first and foremost, and a good businessman.
Yeah.
And a good businessman to me is just someone who's honest, with integrity, and who's willing to learn from failure. And I believe as a parent, if you yourself are attributing these things to yourself in your daily life, there's no way you can be a bad example for your kids. And you'll have less time explaining the hardships to them because you won't be making any.
You grown man.
No, I'm not. These are definitely not things that I've mastered, in any way. But as on my personal journey, as someone I feel like who's had a very accelerated and very layered
journey into fatherhood, especially, and in my career, I think, man, it'd be remiss of me not to share in detail a lot of these things I feel would help young dads, young black dads, young black couples, and just young people and old people, generations alike. I think this is a conversation that needs to be had. So again, I'm loving the questions.
And feel free to, if I don't ask a certain question, or you can pivot off of a question, this is your time.
I'll try not to pivot. I'm good for a tangent.
We're here for it. So, when you were a child, what were your hobbies? What were you like? What was captivating your attention?
It's, again, great question, because these are all things that I have been currently sifting through in my own therapy, is that I didn't have a lot of hobbies as a child because I had music. I was so focused on, I can't even say I was focused on, I loved making music, and that has been something from a very young age that has taken up a lot of my time, because if I wasn't hooping, or if I wasn't making music, I was hooping.
Yeah.
And then I guess if I wasn't hooping, I was watching movies, because that's where a lot of my inspiration for music would come from when I was younger. And then being that I was fortunate enough to spend a lot of time in the country, I was outside, so there weren't really a lot of hobbies. I really wasn't into a lot of things. I wish so much that I was, Legos or bottle caps or something, like kids are into that I would love
Pokemon
my kids
cards.
to be into. Pokemon cards. Yeah, I had them all, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
Even video games and stuff. I think, again, being quote unquote privileged in the sense of I had all these things to the point where I didn't really enjoy I didn't have the appreciation for them. You can call it spoiled, you can call it whatever. I will totally admit the fact that I truly didn't. Like, I only now as an adult realize why my friends love their games so much. You know what I mean? Because they didn't have every PlayStation. They didn't have every console in the house. My dad was a gamer, so naturally we had everything in the crib. So it was like, bro, this is just I didn't have the appreciation for being a kid that I wish I had. You know what I mean? Nico and I, my brother, again, we talk about it all the time, just how we grew up way too fast. And in the best time to be a kid. Bop it, the little kicking thing, with the rope on it, you kick it and jump. I didn't do none of that. I wasn't outside. I was making music. I was locked away trying to be the best producer and best, because I wanted to be young Michael. I wanted to be, and that was, that's still me. A lot of my time goes to music. And now it's like music or I'm with my kids. So as of late, as I have, been fortunate enough to open up a little bit more of my time, it's like, well, damn, man, what do I want to do? So that's why I got my bike. I'm like, that's something I've been wanting to do. So I'm like, man, let's get a bike. Let's, spend all this money on everything else. And my whole thing now is anything I do is investing in my health, because that's investing in wealth. And I feel like, and it's something I've learned from watching you, to be honest, you attract more things. And I've always had a very, very good, I've had great luck without really setting the intention forth of, let me actually show the universe, I care about my body. I care about this.
True.
Knows I care about my children, knows I'll do anything for my kids. But now it's like, I need to show that same appreciation for myself.
My water.
Make me sweat. Don't sue us for that. But yeah, I'm only now beginning to learn to get more in touch with that kid in me and trying to figure out what
now I can do as, the 34-year-old me as of Friday.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, what can I do to tap back into that? So again, I'm getting my bike, I'm getting back into painting, learning how to trade, adult things that give me that same joy of, riding a bike or being outside playing, and it's just, but it has made me realize how much time as a kid from 7 to 23 I spent singular focused on one goal and being good at one thing. And I implore everyone, and I tell my kids this all the time: do everything.
Yeah.
Whatever your heart tells you to do. Even if you only try it one time, do it. I'm trying to skydive. I want to deep sea dive. There's so much life to be lived, man, while we can, before this thing gets shut down. Live, no matter how old you are. Yeah.
You really had a good point with having the options. Well, how my brain interpreted it was, I feel like when one has a lot of options, that's when you truly find out what you're gravitated to, versus when you're just given, I don't know, said game.
Yeah. And
it's like, well, I love this game. It's like, you think you love that game, but you haven't tried, XYZ,
that gets deep.
Yeah.
It's something else Nico and I talk about all the time too, because you really don't realize how influenced by your parents you are until you're older and you start saying, wow, that's like my dad. Oh, wow, that reminds me of my mom.
Yeah.
And I do this a lot.
My mind,
music, everything,
went to having options like regarding love life wise, where it's like, yeah, you think you love this person or you think you and this person are compatible, but let you meet somebody else across the world who, really, people across the world. This is like, oh shit, am I like poly now or, whatever.
Well, it's interesting. You got to think about it.
Naturally, the traits that that become instilled in you, become endearing to certain people. But if those traits aren't who you are naturally, you aren't attracting the people you are supposed to be with. But then your body will surely let you know when you have met someone that's like, okay, well, what's up with this? And they will be so different than you instinctually would have imagined that person to be for you. And what I tell people all the time is, get to know that person, because they're going to, as long as you're not cheating and you know what I mean? But when you meet those people that are exposing other things to you that you truly like, now, I'm not talking about fleeting, pleasures. I mean, when you meet someone, and this is whether it's a platonic relationship, whether it's romantic, anything, when you meet someone and y'all click and you vibe for a reason you can't explain, it's probably because they are activating those parts of you that you should be more in touch with.
Whoa.
And I personally didn't learn that until I did the play I've been asked to do again this year, 2 years ago, the Love Actually live play. My first theater experience was my first time around people like me. The first time I ever felt like, whoa, these are my peeps.
Yeah.
Like across the board and across like different cultures, different races, different, all of us, becoming that family that does this production together really showed me and restored my faith in, oh no, there's a whole hell of a lot of people out there I can relate to. Even if it is in this music sphere, when you allow yourself to be open to people that are different, when you show empathy for other people's situations, naturally you will cultivate much more meaningful relationships in your life that you won't have to run from eventually,
because you realize, this person is just like my mom or dad.
Yeah. With when you said meeting your people, I want to make sure I frame this question right. What has made you in the past make you feel as if you haven't met people that are like you? Because I feel the assumption is you're in a realm where you are meeting loads of people. So naturally it's like, you can meet at least one person a day who's like you. Right. But I'm assuming that wasn't always the case.
Oh, no.
And why?
Surroundings. And
being someone that wasn't true to me for a long time and wanting to
take a lot of people on my journey with me that probably shouldn't have been involved. And that's nothing against people, there's no love lost there, but there is a realization, I think, in one's life that has to be made that there's something much deeper than friendship.
You know, I don't have friends. I have family. And that's just the truth. It may be cliche, but I look through my Rolodex, I go through it in my mind and I say, you know, how many real genuine friends do I have? And again, this is something that's per individual. This is just what makes me happy, is knowing I have a really genuine core group of friends. And that has fluctuated and has changed. And has changed a lot in the last just 3 to 4 years as my life has changed and my eyes have opened up
to a lot of myself. And you realize the people that aren't supposed to be around you will begin to fall away. And it's hard because it's people you love.
Oh my gosh.
You know, but
it's hurting.
Growth is real, man. And again, society has taught us, unfortunately, that, you know, breaking up, sucks. Oh, I'm crushed. I'll never love again. That's some bullshit. You know what I mean? I'll be the first to tell you. And it could be a very,
man thing to say. But there is some truth in the fact that, oh no, you will definitely be happy again. It is on you to decide when that is. If you want to let yourself not be happy, that's on you. You can't blame nobody else, not the person that hurt you, not the situation, nothing. You have the opportunity, if you wake up today, to say, you know what? That shit didn't work out. But I will love again.
Wow.
I will be happy again.
Yeah.
I will meet someone. I will have great experiences again. You know, I think the problem is that people don't allow themselves to have many experiences, then they do, finally, I'm in love, oh my goodness. It goes wrong, and they're devastated, and then it's like, okay, well, now you've let years go by, you're not necessarily growing either.
You can't really expect to meet someone different if you're still stuck in that place. And I know it's harder said than done, but I do think there is proof in consistency. Get back out there. And that's just not even just in relationships. That's in your career. That's with your art. That's with everything. You know what I mean? Fail. Rockefeller said it. John, and you know, even the people, the mentors from afar I've really begun to change, because we have these ideas of certain people that society has placed on them. But when you cut through it and you get to know these people, you realize they all had one common theme, and that was the belief in oneself. That was an unwavering belief, an undoubted belief in oneself that, A, you're taking care of you and your energy around you, which is inevitably the closest people to you, which starts with your family first, and then those that you invite into your circle. So as I would also say, be cautious. Don't not
let yourself, grow and allow yourself to be open to new experiences. You know what I mean? Because I tell you what you don't want to do is wake up and be 40 and realize, damn, I just have a bunch of people I can go to the bar with, but no one I can really connect to. And it is a journey, but the earlier you start, the better chance you are of meeting that core group of people. True. You know, and I wish that for everybody, because you'll live longer. And that is proven. You know, watch that Blue Zones documentary if you haven't. Shameless plug. This is not an ad.
Yes,
but it's real. Surround yourself with amazing friends, and enjoy, making incredible experiences together, and you will live longer. It's the truth.
Would you say, this wasn't a planned question, but would you say you're naturally an introvert as far as just me and maybe one person, or you're like, no, bring the crowd, come on everybody, kind of thing?
See, I'm both. I definitely need my time, but I enjoy the crowd, and not just as a performer. I love being out. I am that guy at the bar that is making friends with everybody, you know, and it's not from a place of crave and connection. You know me. I just talk to people.
Yeah.
I love getting to know people. I love making people smile, because I know most of the time, no one's talked to you today. That's the world we live in. No one's made you laugh today. Yeah. Has anyone made you laugh today?
I really want to laugh at that one. You said, no one has talked
no one's
to you today.
And I've said,
listen. Loser?
But it's not so much that. It's just
People suck.
Yeah.
People have terrible communication skills.
Even
People's
today,
social skills.
I was taking a walk and there was this couple. I'm not going to say because they weren't black, they weren't smiley, but two non-black people. I was walking and the sidewalk was really narrow.
So the wife went behind the husband so that we would make space. Had my glasses on and I'm, getting closer.
Right.
And the guy is just like, and I'm like, hi.
Right.
And the wife was just like, I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
But it's just like, come on, guys.
Don't take life so personal. That's my motto. Because whether they can express it or not, they felt the energy. Their body felt that energy. That's what I learned about people.
Because I don't care. I'm gonna laugh. I'm gonna say hey to
that
you.
That is very your energy.
I'm gonna say what's happening, and you can respond or not. It ain't no sweat off my back. But you're gonna feel this warmth.
Yeah.
And even on my bad days, even when those days where I am feeling introverted, when I don't let that affect other people's energy. I do my best and it's tough. It's been a hard thing to learn how to do, especially as a Scorpio.
Because I can
what
be
is
cold.
the Scorpio way?
It's just being cold. We're cold.
Oh, okay.
And we're completely honest. Beware if you're gonna ask me how I feel, because I'm gonna tell you. I have no other way. I can't sugarcoat it, and my tone is going to be very spot on to how I feel.
But why would someone not? I guess because I'm of the same kilt of real, raw, like, I don't care how it looks, it is what it is. But why would someone not want to hear how you really feel? Is it too heavy for them or something?
I mean, everyone I've learned is not always ready to go as deep as I'm gonna get. And I don't do a lot of fluff. It's a Scorpio. When I let that tail out, I don't have a lot of time to coddle and embrace you, because I try. Oh my God.
I really try. And especially with the people I know, you're not going to take what I'm about to tell you well. So let me establish a little bit of a basis here with you to let you know what's coming is going to hit you like a freight train, and I hope you can handle it.
Yeah.
Because I genuinely don't have time. And I don't want to lead anyone on in thinking that I care that much to spend as much time as other people need to get through things on a situation that can be nipped in the bud with clear and direct communication. Now, if you can't handle the conversation, it's not on me. And that can be misconstrued as being an a-hole or being conceited or being a narcissist or stuff like that. When no, I'm being exactly who you wanted to be. Honest. Truthful. You wanted the truth, right? Would you rather me lie to you so I don't hurt your feelings? Wow. Or would you rather me keep it OG with you, which I need to do to live the life I want to lead at this point, because I can't have any gray areas.
Yeah.
The gray areas don't work for me, I've learned. That's where hearts get broken, dealing with me. Both platonically and in romance. I'd rather be direct and I'd rather be upfront. If I feel slighted in any way, I will let you know, and we can move forward. And if we don't, all right.
Yeah,
but
it's liberating.
It is what it is.
Just saying what it is.
You have to. I think every first date should go like this. Boom, boom, boom. Can you handle that?
Yeah.
Before we even get past this dinner, I need you to know that this, and this are where I'm at. And I'm not talking about these dumbass requirement lists and stuff that are hitting social media. It's like, no, this is how I feel about kids. This is how I feel about sex. This is how I feel about politics. This is how I feel. All of it. Yeah. Get it out of there. No more, what's your favorite color? No more, let's go to...
No, man, fuck all that.
Yeah.
We don't have time.
Yeah.
We don't have time. That's the one thing I will say that the dating apps and all that got. You go on there, you fill that questionnaire out, and it's like, oh, bam, I get it. But everyone, you can't. That's a risk, either way.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean. With the way of the world, don't waste any time. The days of talking and getting to know each other are over. Casual sex and even I feel like dating like that is over too, which is why everyone's in this weird limbo phase of not, we're all independent, but we want to be loved, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about marriage, but it would be great to have that day. I want a family. We're all in that, and it's just, I think it would do us all a favor to take a step back, get to know us a little bit more, and then be like, oh, now I know what I want.
Yeah.
Or at least now I know what I want right now.
True.
And that's something I think is a bigger conversation too, because people's wants change. And that's a tough
That's
one.
like a whole different conversation.
Yeah, we can talk for 2 hours on that, because that's something I think our generation needs to learn. Our parents never learned it. We are all products of that. But people change, man, and that's where communication again comes into play. And I can understand why, marriages can be tough in that regard, because you don't want to be 9 years into a marriage and it's like, I don't really want you anymore.
Right.
Not you, it's not you.
Right.
It's really not even you.
Right.
I'm into new things that you ain't into. And I can't fault you for that.
That's what scares me, but I wouldn't say commitment, but just commitment as far as what does 10 years from now look like?
It's just tough. It's scary. It's scary, especially with the world. It's scary. It really is. The things we know about society and love and relationships and everything, family, everything is, I don't want to say breaking down, but it's being uprooted and changed. A lot of our societal views, and I believe that a lot of our societal missions up for a long time were a bit stifling.
Yeah.
They weren't really meant for the world we're living in now. And that's what our generation is dealing with. That's why we've got so many of us 30 to 40-year-olds that aren't married, that don't have kids, because we realize that's not necessarily what we want.
Right.
Some of us genuinely do like our time. We do like working. Some of us really we don't want to be our parents. And I think that's tough for society to accept. And that's why our younger generations really don't know what's going on. And they have no role models to guide them.
Yeah.
So that's why if you look, our teenagers now are out of their minds. Completely. They scare me more than anything in the world, because they don't know what to do, they don't know what's going on, and they just have all this angst.
Yeah.
Freaky? It's given the purge.
Ooh.
In some regard. Because all this energy is going to go somewhere, and until we have
someone who can guide the youth again, it's going to be very interesting what happens. But I feel the only the true cure for the plague of, I don't know, the lack of individuality these days and empathy for each individual person can only be cured by us all becoming the best versions of ourselves. Or at the very least, having that be the foundation of our day-to-day.
And actually care. And to want to, what do they say? If you want to see a change in the world, start with you.
Be the change.
Yeah.
I genuinely believe that, man. And do it for the children, because the children are watching. And if we don't want to all end up,
somewhere terrible between a pimp and a hard place,
True.
we should probably give them some better role models.
Well, you said a pimp and a hard place.
Pimp and a hard place. Don't want to be there.
This is the Brian. I feel like that's the Brian I know. Last childhood question. What would you say, for better and for worse, the experience of growing up in a celebrity household, the pros and cons?
Pros? Everything you can imagine.
Everyone knows the pros. I got to live a very, very fortunate life for most of my childhood. But the cons absolutely outweigh all of that.
Wow.
Without a doubt. Everything everyone has seen us all go through in this last 10 years, I would gladly give up to not live in a celebrity household and be a normal family.
Yeah.
And have made it out of a normal family into some type of wealth, and you know what I mean? But man, I wouldn't wish what our family has gone through on any other family. And to have to go through it publicly doesn't help anyone, you know what I mean? So, as a child, it was the best of times, but it was
the absolute worst of times too. But now I've really become thankful for both sides of the coin, as I've lived through my own adulthood experience, to be able to now put both these experiences together and deliver the type of gems I'm able to give people now. This young, I believe, I don't know, man, there's no one talking to our men like I can. They haven't been through it, and they're not willing to be as vulnerable, and they don't have the stories that I have. That's the one thing my stories are incredible, and I don't tell anyone nothing, because I'm not a name dropper. But man, my brother and I really have lived an amazing life, in that regard. And we were never shy, and we were never those celebrity kids that were stuck up. And if you didn't like us, it's because you were hating on us.
Yeah.
Because we didn't treat people like crap. We were not, we were always surprised by when people would assume we were a certain way and then would meet us and they'd be like, wow, you guys are actually,
Yeah.
because it's like, yeah, we don't care.
Did your parents teach you that? Like, or it was just innate with you and Nico, like, let's just be cool, like,
Thank God for my mom and my mom's side of the family.
Okay.
I grew up with incredible uncles and incredible aunties, and just my family is full of some of the most amazing characters that I'm going to, and honestly, I'm going to clear this up here, so this is amazing. But I had made a comment on Instagram that went viral a couple weeks ago just
About what was coming, what can't be ignored, the things that certain people won't be able to run from. And that's because I am going to prop my family up so high into the ether that it's going to be hard not to see how much of my family is amazing. The talent I'm surrounded by in my family and my immediate family is unbelievable. And it's almost a sin that it's been this long without them getting a light shined on them. So that is what is going to be undoubtedly hard to hide from pretty soon for the people that have wronged my family. You know what I mean? Because no, we're about to take this thing to the next level and beyond, and it's going to be with love, and it's going to be through positivity, but we're going to change some lives because I believe, again, there are some serious conversations that need to be had when it comes to fatherhood and legacy. And even just when it comes to men, what it means to be a man.
Yeah.
What it really means to be a man. You know what I mean? I think it's time to have that discussion. Because obviously, we haven't yet. So. Woo! But, hey, you got to take the good and the bad, man. I am so thankful for my life. I am so grateful. I thank God every day we high five. My mom's my nigga. Because now, in this new chapter of my life, as I've climbed back to the top of the mountain, at the very least, to this new peak, and being able to now look and say, I'm the man of the family. I'm now leading this. I'm taking care of this. There's no resentment in me to do it. I want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to take care of my family. There's I don't have time for that energy. You know what I mean? I want to do a lot while I'm here, and I want my family to be with me. And that's just, that's where I'm at. And being here now, man, the clarity I have, the drive and motivation I get is childlike. It is childlike in the sense of I'm fired up again because I have a whole new list of goals I would like to accomplish. There's a whole new list of things I need my kids to see me do. Naturally. I love
this motivation, like the inner motivation.
I feel like Rocky. Because it's just, don't give me a challenge.
Yeah.
Is where I'm at now because, I'm going to take it. And now that I'm challenging myself, it's an entirely different ball game. And I can't wait to see 10 years from now because you think we're rolling now. I'm like, man, it's going to be amazing to see all that will be accomplished and how it correlates to what my childhood dreams were. Still, the dreams are still alive. They've never been thwarted, even through my adult obstacles.
This feels like an amusement park of like high vibration.
Amazing questions, man. Amazing questions.
Moving on to work and lifestyle. Being as multi-talented as you are, and please add anything that I'm forgetting. Singer, producer, actor, model, writer. How do you personally manage it all, and or do you when let's just say you're on your acting stuff, when music stuff comes to you, do you say oh no, hit me back in 6 months, or how do you properly time manage it all?
This is another place I would say I'm incredibly fortunate, just for the amount of time I'm allowed to have, due to amount of success I've been able to have as an independent artist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't have a job that takes away from anything. You know what I mean? The only thing I have to plan around are my kids.
Okay.
And ensuring that there's nothing that takes me away from them for too long.
Mm-hmm.
Especially considering the time that I don't get with my oldest kids by default. And that's something that, as I'm, again, fortunate enough as a self-employed, I run everything so people kind of know. I'm working my schedule around my family.
Mm-hmm.
And that just allows me to do all the other things I like, whether that's taking pictures, whether that's doing a play like
I'm doing now, where it's like I am locked in for the next 6 weeks into this gig, but even that is so flexible because I'm good. You know what I mean? Just to be truth, I'm a professional. I've been doing this for a long time, so even days like today where, I'm up at 7, I'm doing the daddy thing early, I'm getting my workout in, and then it's rehearsal. And then, I'm here.
Yeah.
After this, I'm going to go see Blue and my homie spin downtown, and then who knows after that, because the world is literally my oyster, and I don't waste any of my time, and I love having things to do, because I have spent a lot of time not doing nothing. So times like this, or the last 1.5 to 2 years where it's been like, thank God I'm having things on top of each other and I'm having to turn things down, is like, it almost helps me create my schedule because I can divvy things around.
Right, yeah.
If I'm locked into one thing at a time and I'm so locked into that one thing, and it's like, that I'm not really good in those situations. Now, if Broadway calls and it's like, we need you to come to New York, 10-week run, that's a different story. That I would shut everything down for. Obviously still my kids would be a very huge deciding factor on how that would go, but gigs like that, Spike Lee calls me and it's like, bro, we want to do Mo Better Blues too.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well guys, I'm going to New York again for a couple months.
Yeah.
I'll catch you. But I would imagine even if those opportunities come, I would still find time for this. I would still find time to make my music. I'm still going to be walking. I walk everywhere, I keep my camera on me, so that's just another outlet that's always going. I'm always writing, I keep my gear on me, so I'm always actively doing all of the things I currently like to do in my day-to-day. Luckily, fortunately, because again, I don't like just sitting around. I'm no good when it's turned down, man. I need to be moving.
I need to be getting it popping. Trying to incorporate a little bit more sleep as I get older.
Yeah.
But, I
You
don't do a
don't
little
have
sleep.
bags under your eyes.
Well,
You're looking good.
I listen, thank God. I took a serious nap in the Uber on the way here. That's probably why.
Tell me a time when you literally had to look yourself in the mirror and say I don't like this situation I'm in, and you had to rise up out of it.
Yesterday.
Really?
Dead serious. I won't go into detail, but man, sometimes you just get to a point where you say, I am no longer allowing such energy in my life anymore. And that's on me. That's me letting someone break my boundaries. That's me letting someone talk to me a certain way. That's me allowing someone to get under my skin.
Yeah.
Knowing they were going to get under, knowing they were. I knew it. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But how do we know, I was going to say, how do you know when enough is enough? But then I think innately we know when enough is enough.
You just know.
Yeah.
Now I get it. Now I truly get it, because I know.
Yeah.
That's a wrap. You no longer get access to me anymore. Ever. That's it.
Yeah.
Period. I don't like how you make me feel. So that's it.
That. We could end right there.
And that's where I'm at in my life, man. And it's just it's straight like that. You don't get to have the cool BJ in your life anymore.
Yeah.
I tried, especially when I tried, because I don't. If I'm trying for you, if I've done things where I feel like I've changed to better situation for you, and you're not doing that,
And not only are you not doing that, but you're still reacting to me in a way that is going to get under my skin, and you're doing it for that reason.
Snips.
Yeah, you don't ever get to talk or see me again. And I don't care who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was a conversation I did have with myself yesterday before rehearsal. It was like, you know what, man? We have a lot of good stuff going on right now.
Yeah.
We have gotten ourselves to a place where we don't have to allow said person to make us feel like this anymore. And they won't.
Yeah.
High five. Self.
Yeah.
We made it to this point. We know what we've been through. We know the work we've done. We know who we are. No one will ever make me feel like I don't know who I am again.
I'm going to start talking to myself like saying we.
Oh.
I usually say like, I call myself by name, but I like we.
We.
Because it feels more
higher
like...
self.
Yeah.
We got a lower self too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's the chip on our shoulders. It's the same thing. You know, I talk to myself all the time, dog. What's happening?
Yeah.
A lot of less lately though, to be honest, because man, I'm breaking curses over here.
Ooh. You know what I mean? And I don't deny that. I'm not wallowing in no sorrow. I'm not out here, oh my God, I've been through so much. No, like I'm living.
Yeah.
I'm out here getting it, and I'm getting to the money, and I'm setting up this legacy for my children so that they don't ever have to worry about nothing.
Yeah.
The things that I've gone through and my family have gone through in just the last 3 months, the experiences we've had have shown me I have absolutely nothing to complain about, man. I'm actually doing us all a disservice by spending any time sitting around sulking, frowning, wishing wrong on other people, letting other people's negative energy influence my run. That's only taking away my energy for my children and my loved ones. You know, you get to the point, you have to. Maybe that's just what it is for everyone. You have to go through it and get to that point, and that point is different for everyone. But again, going back to my usual foundation of whatever I teach is, if you are basing your foundation on becoming the best version of yourself, you will lessen exponentially the amount of muck you'll have to get through to get to that point where you don't let anything come into your space that's going to influence you in a negative way. You know, I don't do it.
That's real.
I don't do it. And as I've begun to live my life that way, the opportunities that have come forth have been accordingly to those boundaries I've set for myself. Again, like this play. You know, I prayed to be asked to get back to this. And they didn't ask me at first. And then lo and behold, somehow miraculously, your boy is back.
I love it.
And that was again another sign I took from the universe that was like, your prayers are being answered right now. So A, be careful what you ask for. And B, be thankful, be grateful, and don't take it for granted, man.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a lot of keeping my promises to the universe right now in putting myself first, not allowing anyone to take me outside of my character again.
Yeah.
And sticking to my word. You know, that is it. That's everything I'm on right now, you know, period.
This is going to be a longer podcast than normal because we haven't even like gotten into like the juice of things. So this is good.